I've been making YouTube videos professionally for the last 10 years, working with large creators, shooting, writing,
editing, directing, producing, scripting, managing teams.
Here are 13 things if you're looking to start your own personal brand that I see a lot of people get wrong off their rip. And these are things that most people, honestly, I don't see them talking about. They're a little bit more nuanced, and it's more about how you actually become someone who is magnetic. Just some proof here. I've created over 1,000 top performing YouTube videos in my time. I used to make YouTube videos just as a freelancer. I moved and worked with a large multi-channel YouTube network a few years back out of LA. Did some cool things over there, helped scale a bunch of properties, moved to Las Vegas to actually work with Alex and Layla Hormozi as a video creator. For 2 years, I did that from ground zero. I was one of the first hires on their content team, everything from shooting, editing, writing some videos, packaging, all that good stuff, some strategy. I've worked with all these people to some capacity. Obviously, I'm not going to take credit for their full success, but today I'm going to break down these things that I see that people do wrong when they're starting a personal brand, especially people who are, not super native to YouTube or grew up online and understand content. I'm just going to go off the dome. I'm going to go through this list. If this is valuable, cool. If not, fuck you. If you immediately change face after the camera stops recording, you're doing something completely wrong. There's a lot of people that I see, especially when they start out, they get on camera and they think that they have to basically turn into like this bobblehead character of themselves where they're overly smiley. They're basically putting on a show and being very presenter mode, especially if they come from a direct response background where things can be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit less tone aware, and it's more about just like the things that you say and the things that you show. But anyone who has a legitimate audience or any of the big personal brands who people actually like to watch and who people want to model, they don't really put on a show when they're on camera. Sure, there are times when like things are gonna be a little bit more performative, a little bit more polished, depending on the context of the video, but ultimately the people who do it well, they're actually just like broadcasting who they are and their expertise at scale, and that is why you're able to connect with them. And this is like the easiest actionable way that I can see if you're being fake on camera is if the camera immediately stops recording. So if you're at the end of the video and you're like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Like if you do that, it's over. You need to just be yourself on camera as much as possible. I know that's cliche advice, but it does go a long way. Anyone that I do work with or have worked with in the past, this is something that we immediately try to solve, actually bringing forth their personality on camera and not making it into a show. So that's number one. Number two, don't compete on money or lifestyle as a differentiator unless you're actually super breaded and you spend like that. Because the reality is like everyone, especially business people, they see like people from a few years back, the way that you gain notoriety in that space was like renting a Lambo and flexing in front of it, getting little Airbnbs in the hills to make it look like you're breaded. Like that's all cool. I love nice stuff, but there's so many people who do this in a way that is not tasteful at all. The reality is you're competing with the ones who actually have the money, who actually live this life. If you have bread and you want to do that, awesome. But if you don't have it and you're out renting a McLaren to record a talking head video in because you think it's going to make you look good, I can promise you, one, you're going to attract people who are just like low IQ, low EQ, which you don't want to work with anyway. Those people aren't going to be good case studies for you. Anyone above you is going to think you're a cornball, and 98% of people below you are also going to think you're a cornball. Third thing, fake empathy in videos means that people will never watch you again. I can't express this enough, is like a lot of people, rightfully so, they want to put themselves in the viewer's shoes and, talk like they're one of these people. And I actually recommend that, especially for female creators who are business owners. If you're able to put yourself in the audience's shoes and relate to their pain points and relate to their problems in a legitimate way, it actually does make you come across as a lot less like a robot. However, there are people who do this so poorly. And as soon as someone picks up on the fact that you're not being real from an empathy standpoint, it's just like the most ick thing that you could possibly do. You gotta think like if you have a coworker who is fake nice to you and you catch them breaking that mask, even for half a second, you're like, okay, everything that this person says, I don't fuck with them and I'm not gonna trust them again. So it's the same thing in videos. If you're like trying to emotionally pull at people's heartstrings to get them to wanna buy into you or get your product or join your community, that's not gonna work. And you're gonna be seen as just a weirdo, to be honest with you. Next thing, it's easier to create new outliers than exceed existing ones. So I see this a lot. I've been part of videos that have just been moonshots where it's like, there's one video we did for a guy on his first YouTube upload ever. The video got 2.1 million views. And people look at that video and try to copy it over and over again. They'll literally rip the script in GPT, switch out whatever things are relevant to them, and then they'll try to re-upload it and be confused when it doesn't work. And it's because you're copying the wrong things. And that's something I see across the board, especially with like YouTube strategy people, is like they say that you should just look at outliers, rip them, copy them, change a few things, and re-upload. Yes, it works from a packaging perspective, from a big idea perspective of how you're going to present information. But if you expect to exceed the outliers that are there, it's not going to happen, because a lot of the times those outliers are based on factors that you actually can't discern and that you're not able to copy by just looking at the surface level. And it's a valid strategy to try to trend jack and to take things that are working and apply them, especially for hooks, for packaging. But if you're ripping a whole video and you're just going to put it up, you're just immediately positioning yourself as an echo brand, meaning you're not someone who's putting original ideas out into the marketplace. And people pick up on that, and you're just gonna become another one of these people who no one looks up to. And if you wanna be that, cool. If you wanna push a product and you just wanna do whatever works in the short term to milk whatever credibility you have, not build a real audience, and you just want some quick wins, go ahead. It might work, it might not work, but I would say approach things from a first principles perspective and look at what does my audience member actually want to see? How can I execute on that effectively? And if you can bridge that gap instead of like trying to piggyback on ideas that other people did, you'll build a much stronger brand as a result. Next thing, your videos don't need to be an editing effect showcase. Focus on the actual product for the end user. Also the same as the last one in terms of like people copy the wrong thing about why things popped off and expect the same results. I've made videos where the edit isn't the greatest thing in the world. And by all means, I think you should be striving for top quality things, but sometimes they're dated, sometimes it's old meta. And as someone who came from an editing background, I originally was a video editor, then I moved more into the filming stuff and then just basically worked my way up the ladder there in terms of like ideation. I still have my hands in all of it. As someone who's an editor first, a lot of times what clients want is things that just look like they got what they paid for, in quotes, rather than what actually works. So I would advise, especially now in 2025, like think more strategically about what you're saying, the messaging, the pacing, the storytelling, not necessarily glowing text all over the screen and emojis popping up, $ explosions. It looks bad. I never thought it was a good thing when that was the trend at the time. And I was even contributing to that, where I was one of those people who was like kind of pioneering that first like high dopamine business style content. And even at the time when that was a thing, I never thought it was the right thing to do. It worked for a period of time, but the reason why it worked was because the people who were utilizing it were amazing creators, and amazing content with shit plastered on top of it can still pop off, but the opposite can't be true. Which if you're copying the tacky edits of some big creators who have popped off, you're just copying the wrong thing. It's always about the core content unit of the video and what value it's providing to your audience, either from an entertainment or an educational perspective. Number two, so there's 2 5s. Let's keep it going. Next one, audiences are built when people get something of value from watching. They aren't built on someone wanting to validate their own ego. I see this a lot with small creators, small business creators, people who think they start making good money and they want to just show their lifestyle and they want to create a personal brand. And there's definitely a time and a place for that. If you want to just build a lifestyle brand, cool. A lot of these people, they just want to validate their own ego, which means that they're not playing to the market. And if you're not playing to the market, you're not going to get growth. It's important to understand that the reason why people actually fuck with you as a creator is if they get something out of watching it, it's not about what you get out of the audience or out of the viewers. If you flip the script this way and think of how can I serve my viewers, or how can I grow my audience and nurture this relationship that I have with people who are willing to give me their attention, I promise you that's what creates real audience growth and real audience depth. And it's not every video, you're not fighting as a flash in the pan to hope that the algo picks up on something. You actually have a moat of viewers who will watch whatever you want to watch. And that's what's actual brand power, and that's what's going to get you able to monetize in the future whatever you want, because you have that audience base. And ideally it's a high quality audience base if you're building it the right way. Next one, no one cares about your personal story more than you do. Keep your backstory short and don't expect things purely to pop based on your past. So a lot of people, they think the first thing that they should do when they start making videos is talking about all their past trauma and their struggles to get where they were as a creative or as an entrepreneur, no one cares, bro. It's like, there's so much stuff out there that's so much more valuable or so much more entertaining than someone talking about how their dad didn't kiss them on their forehead. Honestly, like the people who are making YouTube videos, especially who are business owners, a lot of the times their stories aren't that crazy. They're not that like much of a hero's journey as they think it is. It's like, yeah, dude, I dropped out of school so I could sit on my laptop and it was so hard because none of my friends understood me. It's like, sure, bro, that works. But like, what are you actually going to do for people? What are you actually going to do about it? How are you going to take your situation and make it into something valuable? And a lot of people get stuck in this loop of just wanting to validate their own experience as something that's valuable, rather than being like, okay, what can I actually bring to the marketplace and bring to the table for people to experience for themselves? What are the lessons that I've learned that I can apply and share with people that people can actually get something out of? Sure, weave in your personal stories here and there for credibility, for authenticity, to differentiate yourself. But if you think that you're going to just be able to post about like your life or a day in the life and all this kind of stuff, and it's going to pop super well, if you're not someone who's incredible or living an extravagant life, it's just not going to happen. And I'd focus on really deducing what is valuable that you can share with people. Number 7, upload cadence doesn't matter if you're posting slop. So I see a lot of people who want to get started on YouTube, or even big YouTubers, they're like, I need to post weekly, or I need to post twice a week, or I need to post every Saturday at 12 p.m. PST. One, it's not important because everything's algorithmically driven now. So it's like the amount of people who are actually going to be refreshing your page at 12 p.m. PST, if that's what you promise, is like 0. And 2, all the platforms, they reward quality, which means that good videos get surfaced and pushed. Or if you want to play a different game, they can reward relevancy in terms of solving a specific problem with keywords and all that kind of stuff, SEO. 98% of YouTube videos is just a quality game. That being said, there's always the discussion of like, should I post quality or should I get the reps in to get the quality up? Essentially, like speed up your learning process. You can do that if you're working with people who actually have an understanding of what is good. Then I would advise that at some point, if you've gotten a good amount of reps in, you get better on camera and all these things, that if your growth is stalling, flip the thing in the opposite direction. If you're going quality, go quantity. If you're going quantity, go quality. feel that out, run with it. Obviously, there's still momentum on YouTube. You want to be posting as consistently as possible. And if you wait like a month between uploads, that's usually not a good thing unless you're just producing bangers. But I just see so many people get hung up on like, okay, if my editor had actually another 48 hours on this video, could they make it way better? Or if we spent 3 more days actually fleshing out this idea and the logistics behind it, would this be a better video? Or if I had 1 more afternoon to write this video, put more value into it, would it be better? If the answer is yes, take the time. You're not going to be punished for posting a video 1 day later. We're not solving world hunger here. We're uploading YouTube videos. So I would just say the best quality product that you can do, as long as you can do it semi-consistently, is way better than just like posting shitty videos hoping that you're eventually going to pop off. Definitely easier to make 1 video that gets 10K views than post 20 videos that get 100 views or whatever, and you get the same amount of exposure, and the amount of work and the discretionary effort to get the result just isn't there. So don't post slop. If you don't know if it's good, send it to your friends, send it to someone who, like, if you're older, send it to someone who's younger. Have no ego with it and see how you can actually improve things. Next thing, I think I kind of touched on this already, but strong core idea and execution is what drives the results. Everything else is pretty much nonsense. If you can nail these 2 things, basically you're going to have a better shot at making videos that pop off. We've had videos that, and a caveat I would like to add is that if your core idea has built-in tension to it that doesn't resolve until the end of the video, or has a big question mark, or a repeatable format with lots of setups and payoffs, that'll intrinsically help the video write itself. And honestly, the best videos, they almost do write themselves because the core idea is so compelling that you could basically go out, even with an iPhone, and shoot from the hip, capturing the idea and getting something good out of it just because the idea is that strong. So I would say spend more time on ideation if you want to make big bangers. If you just want to do the volume game, you can do that. But even if you're doing that, make sure your execution's cool and you have a good idea, because those are the things that actually matter. Next one, every creator thinks a video is good after it goes viral. If the goal is to grow, you don't know what you like. I've just seen so many videos time and time again that I've been a part of, or even other creators reference as videos that are not good videos, in terms of like, there are lots of mistakes in them. There are little things that you can nitpick, say that need to be tweaked, X, Y, and Z. But if it gets 10 million views, everyone's gonna think it's good. So it's like, you don't actually know what's good if your goal is as a marketer to get more attention on your stuff. You need to go where the market is and what the data actually shows you, and actually focusing on performance and what drives growth and what actually contributes to results is way more important than, like, for instance, swapping out a specific picture because you don't look as good in this frame as that frame. It's like, dude, that's, if you want to make scrapbook videos that you could watch for yourself to feel good about yourself, you can go ahead and do that. But if you want to grow on YouTube, little things like that don't matter. I still have really high quality standards, but even the best videos, someone can have an opinion on it. Someone could say something needs to be changed, and I can guarantee you, if that video got 10 million views, everyone would be happy. So actually go towards making things that will work. Next thing, outliers have an element of luck, but people try to pick them apart to sound smart. Pretty straightforward. There are all these people on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube who are YouTube strategist type people who just come up with weird terms. It's good to be able to look at things critically and pick them apart, but a lot of this is people trying to sound smart to act like that there's information that they have that you don't. I can tell you firsthand, it's really just about making the best videos possible, learning each time, getting better each time, looking at trends, looking at where the market's at, knowing what your audience actually wants to see and how you can deliver on that in the best way. Look through everything through those like core principles and lenses. You're gonna make outlier videos. And that's the biggest flex that you can do, is actually just think of an idea, execute on it, and have it perform better than anyone else's ideas. And the best thing is if you can do that and have other people copy you, then you're like the ringleader of all the little like underdogs who just try to like munch off of all the value that the real creators create. There's definitely things you can learn from videos. Like one thing that we do is we take all the data from YouTube, the retention data and the transcripts, and we'll actually like line by line go second by second and see what things were good for retention and bad for retention. Totally valid to like see those, crystallize them, come up with checklists for your channel that actually define what your videos are, what your audience is resonating with, what they're not. Cool, you can learn a lot from the data. But aside from that, like a lot of things are just things that people are saying to make themselves sound smarter. Next thing, check yourself before comparing your video to big creators who spend over 50K a video. I don't think people realize how much effort goes into some of these videos that people are making. Like there's a client that I work with where one of these videos that we recently did that ended up being a huge overperformer took over a month to edit. And that wasn't because the editor was slow. That was just because that was the nature of this project. Millions of subscribers to verify that this is the truth. And if you see the operations that these people are running with multiple editors, with servers, all working on one video, and it still takes weeks and months to execute, you can't expect those results with a small budget in a small time frame. Just make sure your expectations align with where you're actually at. If you look back at any of the big creators who started out, most of them, their first videos were not as good as they are now, but they still performed. And that's just because there are ways that you can get shifty with it and you can actually get results and do 80% of the stuff that drives the results without pushing into that super quality zone. I just don't think people realize how much money, even vlogs, like between going to different hotels and travel and all these cars and food, it's very easy for a creator who's big to rack up a vlog that costs them 100K to produce. Like if you're to look at each line item, you're not gonna be able to compete with that, and you can't really expect the same results if people are spending tens of thousands of dollars a video if your budget is like whatever it is. Next thing, treat good creators, editors, designers, videographers well. You probably need them more than they need you. Everyone wants to make content. Everyone thinks that they're going to be the next big personal brand. Everyone says that we really want the videos to pop and hold a high level of quality. And what that does a lot of the times is, especially like people who want personal brands are a very strange group of people sometimes. They're super dope people, and then there's also the weirdos who just want clout. They honestly take for granted the people who are willing to work for them. And I know if you're paying someone to do a service on your behalf, obviously that's an opportunity. There needs to be some level of respect there. But to the same degree, there's so many people who want it that if they're willing to work with you and they're actually good, granted this doesn't apply if they're not good, but if they're good and they have a track record and they have results and they're bought in and they care about the end product, don't treat them like shit. This goes without saying. They can hop and find a better opportunity for someone who's like fun to be around, fun to communicate with, good content teams. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't treat people well. Next one, you actually have to upload videos to grow your channel. Let this one marinate. I said that as a joke. If you're not uploading, if you're not putting yourself into the marketplace, if you're not telling people who you are, what you do, if you're not entertaining people at scale and you're constantly pumping into the machine, you're not going to grow. I see so many people, I've seen big creators even who are like, we're going to take 3 months, we're going to take 4 months, 5 months off of posting videos because we really want to dial up the back end. And then like, that's the worst thing you can do. And a lot of people, they're like, where should I start? I have buddies who are like, I really want to grow this personal brand. It's like, bro, if you're not posting anything, it's never going to happen. None of the theory matters. None of the strategy matters. None of the things that you're watching on Instagram Reels and bookmarking matters if you're not pushing publish, if you're not posting stuff. So I would urge you, if you want to do it, upload videos. That's why I'm putting this out. It's like, I'm here, it's like super late at night. I'm reading off a tweet. This isn't super crazy, but let's put it out. Let's see how it does. You can't get anywhere without sharing it. Last one, super easy. It should be fun. We're not trying to cure cancer or build an atomic bomb. We're posting YouTube videos. We're making Instagram Reels. We're making TikToks. So that's the list. If this was interesting at all, or you want to see more videos like this was like super low effort for me. I think I could put together some bangers with some actual sauce from 10 years of doing this, but I just wanted to get something out there pretty quick just to get the ball rolling. Post some slop, expect big results. You know, I hope this gets 1 million views. If you want more videos, stay tuned to this channel. I'll keep putting stuff out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.